Good afternoon there. My name is Miss Ebba and I'm here today to give you effective tips on how to revise successfully. So these are for year 11s and also for year 12s who are resitting their GCSEs. I would love to say to you, first of all, if you are resitting your GCSEs and you're in year 12, do not see it as, oh, I failed, I'm a failure. See it as, this time round you are going to do exceptionally well. I've just had a few of my students who failed in their GCSEs, but they've done exceptionally well. They've passed and now they've left my class, and I'm absolutely ecstatic to hear that. I'm very, very happy about that. So that's my encouragement to yourself, that it doesn't matter if you fail the first time, second time round, you are definitely going to be able to do it. So the very first tip I would like to give you to tell you about how you can revise effectively, because you hear people say, you need to revise, you need to revise, you need to revise. And then you hear other people say, how can you revise English though? How can you revise English? I don't know how to revise English. One of my tips I will tell you first of all is to discover your dominant learning style. You need to know how best you learn. How are you going to learn if you don't know how you learn? What I do and what's within my class packs out in school is within every single year group that I have, on the very first day I met them, I found out, I did a quick assessment, and then I found out what their dominant learning style was, whether they were visual learners, kinesthetic learners, auditory learners, whatever sort of learners they were. I was then able to merge that and create PowerPoints, presentations, activities, starter activities, plenaries, and everything like that was based around the majority and based around what sort of learners I had. So that's what my tip will be to you. Find out how you learn. Silly, you may think, oh my gosh, what? Find out how you learn and then you're going to learn. Maybe you're not getting it or understanding something because you don't actually know how you learn. Okay? My tip number 2, your teachers that you have, the areas you're struggling with, don't see it as, oh my gosh, I'm a geek if I go and do this. You're not. I wish I would have done this in secondary school. Go to your teachers and find out the areas that you're struggling with the most. See them, miss, or sir, this is where I'm struggling with the most. I need extra help in this area. I need to do this. I need to do that. How can you help me with this? Can you break down this concept a bit more? Can you underline this method to me? Can you go through this with me again? It's fine. Okay? It's fine to reach out for help, because you reaching out for help is a sign, is an actual sign that you want to develop as a human being and as a student, and you want to achieve. So, my third learning tip, past papers, past papers, past papers, yes, is the best thing you can do. Do past papers. And when you do past papers, give it into your teachers and go to them and say, Miss or Sir, I've done a past paper. Can you actually mark this for me? What grade am I getting? Where do I need to improve on? Can you mark me on the context? Can you mark me on AO1? Can you mark me on AO2? Can you mark me on AO3? Break it down for me. Another tip which just come to my mind now is actually seeing the mark scheme. How do you know what you want to achieve and what you want to do well when you haven't seen the mark scheme? If you don't know what the question is asking you, how can you actually answer the question effectively? You can't. Okay? Another tip of mine for yourself is to actually get a tutor. Tutoring groups and so forth. There's an amazing company I work side by side with. They're called Life Creations. They have maths, English and science teachers who will be able to help you push you to the level and exceed the target that's been set for you. I'm also myself restarting group tuition for my year 11s and for year 12 resets. I'll be doing that every single Saturday. More information on that will be sent to you and will be available for you. So that's another tip that I will give you, that make sure that you understand that you need to be part of people that are learning in group tuition. Get yourself a personal tutor if you can. I'm not saying get a personal tutor for every day of the week or be in group sessions every day of the week, but make sure you do have a day that you have that one-on-one, because in a classroom is 1-on-20 or 1-on-30 or 1-on-27, but one-on-one or in smaller group tuition groups that I do 1-on-5 or 1-on-10, there is a complete different level of focus that the teacher can give you during that time. Another tip that I will say to you as well is that diversify your methods of learning. Now, I did say have a dominant learning style, and I did read an article by Ghazi Khan who stated that visual learning is the best way that young people or that people can learn things. So visual aids, he did say that. However, although I have said discover your dominant learning style, don't think what I'm going to say now is contradictory. Diversify it as well. So make sure you are learning sometimes. If your dominant learning style is visual, make sure you're learning, let's say, 70% of the time visual, 10% kinesthetic, and 10%, let's say, auditory learners. Be active. Think to yourself, okay, I've learned this all this way. Now, can I teach someone this? What I used to do when I was younger, when I was revising, I would pretend to have an imaginary classroom and I'll be teaching and I'd say, okay, guys, we are focusing on this novel To Kill a Mockingbird. Now, who knows the dominant characters in To Kill a Mockingbird? Who knows what the themes are? And then I'll be looking at certain poetries in the famous anthology. This poem, what are the language devices that I use here? I'll be teaching like an imaginary classroom. And it actually helped because although I was a dominant visual learner, me teaching it to someone else or to other people helped me a lot. Another thing that I will give you, the last thing I will actually tell you is that believe in yourself. So cliche to yourself, believe in yourself. But believe in yourself, believe that you have the ability that you can do it, and believe that when you go into the exam that you need to read the questions, that I believe that every single question that's in this exam paper, I can understand it and I know how to do it. And I tell my students this, that every time you get an exam paper, every time you go through a past paper, before you jump into the paper and start answering, I think it's this, highlight the keywords. And ask yourself, what is the question asking me? Over and over again, what is the question asking me? Highlight the keywords, highlight analyze if we're looking at the subject of English, highlight language devices, highlight the way the author presents this. How is language presented? How does Shakespeare use the language to present Iago as a villain? So you will underline keywords, for example, in that sentence, Iago, so you know that's the character, villain, you know that, and Shakespearean language. So certain things like that could be of great benefit to you. So those are my few tips for my year 11s especially, and for year 12s that are resitting. And good luck. I believe that you're going to do very, very well. Thank you so much.